Hello, hello, hello. Happy Sunday, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Another edition of Path Trading Partners live stream. How is everyone doing? I'm Mike Arnold, co-founder of Path Trading Partners, along with Bob Iacchino, who should be here a couple days this week, Tuesday and Thursday. So make sure you tune in for that. Hey Josh, how do the long-term buy signals overbought, oversold, and overbought conditions react to each other in the short term? We will talk about that. Good evening, Anissa. Happy Sunday, Connor. Hello, Options 22. So, again, still celebrating hitting 5,000 subscribers. Big milestone for us. So, again, thank you for everybody who leaves some comments and likes the videos. By the way, if you are new here, please do consider subscribing, ringing that bell, and hitting the like button. Again, longer term subscribers, please leave some comments and like the videos. Okay, I also put up the sector overview. Please do check that out, pre-recorded. Lots of sectors also triggering to longer term buys. So, what does that mean? Well, we'll get to that in a quick minute. What I want to do first, again, still dealing with the older setup, so don't have multiple cameras going, so you're going to see me look at my other screen. Tomorrow we have the New York Empire's Fed Index, or State Manufacturing Index. Minor, just going to make sure that stays above zero. Housing market, well, everybody knows that's sort of consolidating and partially pulling back, so that's going to be minor. Not much going on tomorrow in terms of that. August 16th, Tuesday, industrial production, 15 minutes before the open, and before that at 7:30 Central, you have the housing and housing starts. I don't see that really moving the market either that much. That's probably going to get shrugged off. One of the bigger days is Wednesday. You got retail sales, but the forecast is just a 0.1 increase. So unless that really misses, it might have an effect coming from overbought conditions. And then you got Fed speak, but that's being shrugged off too. I mean, we are in shrug off everything that contradicts a bull mode. Whatever it is seems to get shrugged off. Now, at some point, we're going to get some kind of pullback. That's a given. It's a given because markets, well, even when they go straight up, they don't go straight up every day. So we're going to get a pause or a pullback. Wednesday, remember, FOMC minutes. But even with the Fed speakers reiterating how, there is no pivot, there is no pause, we're going into the next year with hikes, blah, 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 shrugged off. So possibly something in the minutes spooks the market. Then you got Bowman speaking again. That's probably the biggest day. You got, we watch continuing jobless claims because when Patrick's here, it's 1456K. Patrick always reminds me. So thank you for reminding me when Patrick is here. I think he is on vacation though, so we might not see him for a few days. So keep that. That's our own recession indicator. And that number again is not based off some absolute number. It's based off a percentage increase from the lows. Fed manufacturing, let's see if that stays in negative. Again, these are minor things. The CB Consumer Board Leading Index focuses on another contraction, probably shrugged off. Existing home sales going to be shrugged off. We got Fed George speaking, and then on Friday, nothing besides our rig counts. So it's a lot quieter week with reports. Wednesdays tends to be the big day. So if I'm going to bet on any day with oversized volatility, it could be Wednesday and not just do the minutes. It's two Fed speeches and retail sales. S&P, just a recap from Friday, everything green. I don't know what J&J did wrong. I don't know what they did wrong. But, I mean, unless you put it all in J&J, you had a good day on Friday. That's a joke, by the way. It was just a bull market across the board. FOMC still, we're not 50-50, but this is, you're pretty close. 50 to 75. Some Fed speakers favoring 50, some stressing 75. 75 is definitely an option still for the 50. But look, we're till September 21st. We still got Jackson Hole. We still got Labor Day. We're 3 weeks into September before we get that decision. So we'll just keep an eye on that. We are in slight gamma positive territory. So what does that mean? Remember, option, I forgot to mention it. Option expiration Friday. What strikes are favored for the S&P? 4,200 is a biggie. 4,200. So keep that in mind. Here's where we are. 4,200. Let's see. Can I highlight this? That's 4175. There's 4,200. You see here, especially on the call side with gamma, which is going to, as the closer this gets to expiration, this is going to be the biggie. If we do fall back below this, 4150. I really doubt we, unless we had a major disaster this week, 4,000 is a long way off. To the upside, should it just keep in ballistic mode to the upside? Next is 4250. And then you have another biggie's 4,300. But unless we get in super power bull mode, I'm real focused on this 4,200. Earnings this week, now remember, earnings season is winding down. But, we got retail sales. And look at some of the stuff. We got Walmart on Tuesday before the open, and they already guided. Remember their guidance for the rest of the year was pretty bad, and then it gapped down, and then it completely rallied back. The market's like, okay, let's just buy Walmart. So let's see how their earnings are, because there are a couple things that could move the markets this week. Conjunction, a combination of retail sales, Walmart, again, not just housing, but consumer. Home Depot is a biggie. You got both those before on Tuesday. Wednesday, you got Target, and you got Lowe's. So you got the home stuff, and you got just overall some more of the discount retail, shall we say, even though Target's a little higher end than Walmart. You got, you know what, but it's not in the same playing field as, you know, the high end. So we're going to get a little gauge of that. So if these come in bad and you got retail, we could be at least the impetus for a short-term pullback within this bull mode. After close, you got Cisco. Now, tech's been on a massive run. Is Cisco going to turn everything negative on tech? No. But it is important to still keep in mind where Cisco is. Kohl's on Thursday before the open, another discount retailer. And then not much on Friday. It'd be interesting to see how it is with the heavy machinery for John Deere. So my big point of this, and you got, TJ Maxx. So that'll be interesting on Wednesday also. So Tuesday, Wednesday before the open, would not ignore that at all. Would not ignore it. I will get to the question. I know I'm not ignoring your question, Josh. Let me just hit a couple other things. Hey, Kalani. Thank you. Thank you for that nice comment. I don't even need to read. Well, 5K is super nice. I appreciate everyone who's there. I think you guys are all you guys and gals, however you identify. I think you're all awesome. This day and age, you have to say something like that because, I just want everybody to be happy and learn to analyze the market. NASCAR, welcome. Newton Frog, I see your comments, and you know what? Newton Frog's one that comes back and leaves a lot of comments. They're quick. It might just be a thanks, but he is, or her, I don't know what Newton Frog is, or a frog and a reptile. Thank you for the super chat. And you know what? I really appreciate all your comments, Newton. Thank you. 5K plus 350 is even better. Look now hopefully some people, we must have something that's going on, but we're picking up more and more steam. So can I trouble everybody watching this live after this is over? Please, could you spend that extra 30 minutes and come back and leave a comment? Please, some of you don't who are regulars. And I would really ask from my bottom of my heart, since we are picking up steam, and wouldn't that be great to keep this getting out to more and more people? Again, big shout out everybody. Give a shout out to Newton Fong in the, I misread that. Jeez, I'm sorry, I misread that. Sorry again, I butchered your YouTube name, Newton Fong. Please, options 22. Come on. No more cues for you, if not. All right, now the question. With things being overbought, we are at, again, not rolling over yet on the daily, but on the weekly. We're at cycle top and closing in on massive overbought on the weekly. We are overbought on the daily. Now, the question was, how does that, we have this long-term signals, not only in the S&P, but the Nasdaq, the Dow, the Russell. All of them triggering these longer-term buys. And by longer-term buys, again, this could shift in a few weeks again, given the nature of the markets. When you naturally see a run-up of multiple bars that trigger, I am prepared for consolidation or pullback. All right? Separate from this market environment. For as many years as I've worked with this stuff, when you have a massive run that triggers a buy system on a longer-term basis, historically, we get a consolidation or a pullback. So I would not be shocked. I touched on this in the sector overview. Sector overview, I said there's lots of sectors that just hit the buy mode, but I'm watching for this short-term pullback to get better reward to risk. And please go tune into that and leave a comment for that one too. So that's what I am watching for. Does that mean it has to happen tomorrow or tonight? No. When we're overbought, now we can go get overbought, but I would rather have reward to risk be more in our favor. And that's why I'm not ignoring these signals. Yes. And I touched on this. And if you want my comments based off of probabilities and the tie-in with card counting and that kind of stuff, please just at least watch the first part of Fridays, because I go into that with probabilities. What I'm going to reiterate, could we crash the market next week and all these buy modes flip to sell modes? Yes. Not statistically probable, but that could happen. If that does happen, if these all flip back to sell modes, that is a major bearish sign if that does happen. And I will let you know if that does happen. Am I counting on that? Even with a pullback or consolidation does not invalidate anything on these buy modes. And these buy modes could last, September's traditionally a pretty poor month for the markets. So, and I will get more into significant pullback or crash mode. Why crash mode? Because I think the underpinnings of these markets are very unstable. But I'm not going to overall focus on that until we get into September. Does that mean you don't trade with stops? We focus on two kinds of stops. Close basis, which is our standard stop, which you want to see it close below a key level. Then we have what's called a walkaway stop. A walkaway stop is where you put it in. It's generally farther away and where you can walk away from the markets. Like, let's say you were on an airplane and something disastrous happened. It would get you out. It's going to be a lower level because you only want it hit in sort of disaster mode, or this is a really bad case mode, but that's a walkaway stop. When signals all trigger to bullish, could something happen this week? Unexpected, not even with those earnings or the financial reports being released or the numbers being released this week. Could something still happen? Yeah, it's the markets. That's why we always trade with stops. But you can't just go, I just don't agree. I don't agree. I'm super bearish. Well, we're still in a bear market. And also, not just this one system's tripped on a bunch of different sectors. The other proprietary one I can't release triggered. And another one triggered this week that I don't even talk about. So in categories, I have 3 major categories of mid to longer term buy signals that have triggered. Could they all theoretically be wrong? Could they all turn around and get stopped out? Yes, because nothing's 100%. Unless that happens, I got to go with short-term buy mode and keep ratcheting up stops. I'll give you another example, and then we'll get to some analysis. When this triggered, this was Apple. Okay? When this triggered, and this is Apple, which is it's a mega cap stock, which is also over 7% of the index, which is not healthy long term. However, this triggered a massive double bottom pattern. When this triggered, I got a bunch of people telling me who were bearish. There's no way this is going to the targets. No way. Even though it's Apple, mega cap, a lot of people buy Apple. No way it's going to targets. What do you see here? I see all the targets hit. I also see it shifted into long-term bullish mode on the same trigger, on the weekly same trigger. And since that triggered 3 more straight up weeks, since this trigger, and you could even got in on this on a pullback because of the double bottom, we won't even measure to there. We'll measure from the open because you could have easily got in on an open. And I'm not trying to tout this like I'm not one of those channels that's saying, oh, look, you could have crushed the market 11.8% in 3 weeks. That's not the point of this. The point is, this triggered. Did I know it wasn't going to get stopped out? No. But we had in the 70% probabilities. And it went on to fulfill that. And it went up 11.8%. And now it's closed above the 62.5%, and it's still, even with a pullback, favors 176.20. Would I be chasing it higher at this point? No. I would not be chasing it higher. I'd be waiting. I'd be waiting for a nice little rotation or at least a sideways. Remember, 2 kinds of corrections. 3-bar pullback to the rotation zone. Sideways move, rotation zone catching up. Does it matter? Do I care what kind of correction? No. Do I know what kind of correction it's going to be? No. But on a pullback or a sideways move, we can watch for anything and then a resumption of breakout because we still have probabilities in our favor. I'll give you another one, then we'll get to some analysis. ARK, I got also told. And this one, it surprises me. It triggered a double bottom on a weekly basis. We just hit the first stop reduction. If you had me bet, and you say, all right, based off what I thought, not the probabilities, based off what I thought, if it was like, okay, do I think ARK's even going to get to the first stop reduction target? Being against the rotation zones? It's ARK. It's ARK. It's a pile of crap right now. Are we going to get a rally that takes us up to the first target? I'd say you were nuts based off my thoughts. Now, the probabilities are the probabilities. It hit the first target. Some of the best doubles I've ever seen on things I was sure, all right, this double's a no-brainer. It's why you don't just increase your risk based off what you think is going to happen. I've had doubles on like this is the biggest no-brainer trade. I'm like, that's pretty much a guaranteed stop out. What? Stop out. And then you get ARK hit in the first target. So I don't know which ones are going to work. If I did, I might still be doing a live stream, but I'd probably be doing it from a private island. And I do not own a private island. I don't even know if I'd want to own a private island. Maybe a small one. Why do I bring that up? Because I don't know what's going to work and what's not. And I've tried to fine tune. I've tried to finagle it. I've tried to throw in other things to some of these, and it makes it statistically worse. Or it makes it so complicated that it's not worth my time to try to eke out a couple percentage points increase, like looking at 20 different things. It's literally not worth my time for 2 or 3 percentage points more. You're better to just manage your risk. So, can the market keep going? Yes. We are in between these red lines and back to the S&P. We are into a major potential topping area. I'm still expecting us to easily hit the 200. We may pull back before that. What is another impetus then for a higher mode is if we close above 43.70. That would be the 62.5. Then we got to keep focusing on higher prices. We don't have a long-term topping signal in. So what am I watching for if we continue to plow up this week? We're against some major resistance too. You see over here to the left, the beginning of May, end of April, beginning of May. This is major resistance. So there could be some area we run up to if we don't get to the top yet. And the weekly, very overbought. And you have a declining trend line, declining properly drawn path trend line. If you want to know more about that, we have 3 videos up for free. You can search for trend lines. And we have a harmonic target. 43.43, declining trend line. We are weekly, cycles at the top, and nearly weekly major overbought. The 200 sitting, and the 200 is an area 43.25. So if we keep plowing higher this week, 43.25 to 43.43 are my next major targets. I'll update the minor ones tomorrow morning. Pullback level for overnight. I'm not going to dwell on a ton of this right now. But the pullback level for overnight is about 42.44. And if you want something minor, key off the 1 hour rotation zone, 8 and 21 EMA. But you see clear path move. So if you do get some selling pressure overnight, you could easily return to this 42.44, 42.47 area, bottom of the 1 hour rotation zone because of that clear path move. If it holds up, that's what I'll still be watching for into tomorrow's open. And one other thing, this is not on the 4 hour basis. This is not a double top. This top is way too high. Welcome, Coco, to the moon. Don't jinx it, Coco. Yeah, AB, thanks for putting that in there. There are some Chinese companies that's going to delist, and I think you're going to see much more of that over the next few months. Thank you for putting that in there, AB, and welcome. Thank you. Nasdaq. Also shifting the long-term buy. But this is on a tear. Again, I'm watching for it, a pullback or a consolidation. What are the levels? We're virtually to the next major harmonic, so I'm going to update this right now to this pausing bar because we're almost that next harmonic, virtually got there. So this gives me another stop raise level, 13,713, and then the major target area is about 13,918 to 14,000 with the 200. Now, this 4 hour chart does still have a potential double, which is completely valid, reversing this move. But that does not trigger until below 13,285. It doesn't even confirm below that. So it has a lot to drop back into. And before that, what's the level I would be watching for overnight? 13,493 to 13,500. There you go. The targets for that double, 13,140, 13,067, 12,995. And we already went through the upside. Oops, wrong. Doesn't matter which chart I'm on. It's going to... Dow. Also, this extended too much in the Dow, so no potential double top. I am raising these levels to this pausing bar. We don't have a better pausing bar just yet. But my topping area in here is about 33,856 to 33,910. And if we go into Super Bull mode, 34,131. Again, the Dow is getting super overextended and overbought. Cycles at the getting to the top on the daily, cycles at the top on the weekly. This is why it's to be reward to risk is really favoring the pullback versus a little more upside. That's why I'm being very cautious to the upside. Unless you're already in something, I'd trail. These are the kind of markets you trail. You don't chase, you trail. And then we watch for entries on a pullback. 33,542 pullback level overnight. Russell, this is sound like a broken record. Broken record, everything, just trading in go-go mode. Russell, long term, buy mode. Short term, pullback, 1994. Major support 1971. What are the next key levels? Let's put on the harmonics. So this pausing bar. Next area is 2039 to 2050. And we already went through the pullback area. There we go. China made the best or worst thing for Apple and Tesla. Very, very astute comment, AB. And we had more people go to Taiwan, more representatives go to Taiwan, which is gonna, oh, I don't know. It could get very interesting very quickly. By the way, this still, I think, that is still a potential double. So we'll watch for that on a pullback. DAX hitting this 13,886 harmonic. It closed above. It did not close above the 62.5 on the daily. I need it close above on this on a daily to really base it here. The DAX support coming in about 13,535. Next level is 13,983. DAX cycles aren't at the top on the weekly, on a daily, but are at the top on the weekly. So keep that in mind with the DAX. Your notes, still pausing bar on Friday. Daily cycles at the bottom, weekly cycles rolling off the top. If we break below 118.30 roughly, it says 118.29, I'm focused on 118.30. I'll focus on 118.05 for a pullback level to the 50% of this up move. Long term, we're still in bullish mode because of a triggered head and shoulders, and we're getting the first pullback reaction. What gets me in the short-term bullish mode? Not until above 119.28. Crude triggered the double, hit the first target area and the daily rotation zone pulling back. Your revised stop level on crude, 90.03, so 89.95. So until you get a daily close below that, or at least a 4-hour close below that, still that's your rise and stop reduction. I'm still watching for a push higher. Daily cycles though at the top and starting to roll over. Weekly at the weekly at the bottom. So mismatch cycles. So now I'm watching for more of a consolidation unless we get back and trigger that stop out. Then I'll be watching for a retest of the low prices. But other than that, it's in short-term bullish mode still. Gold, sideways correction, 8 catching up. So I'm still watching for that breakout move. Stop reduction target, 1827. First target is 1842 to about 1845. Stop has to be below the daily rotation zone coming in at 1781 on a closing basis. Cycles neutral on the daily, not getting to the top on the weekly, but not yet rolling over. I will pay very close attention when the cycles get to the top on that weekly basis for another pullback move. But this is looking like it has put in a long-term bottom. So as long as we don't get another close, essentially below 1733, we could see a pretty substantial long-term bottom in there. US dollar, Japanese yen, still potential head and shoulders top. By the way, this is not a potential double bottom, so not doing much in here. It's in no man's land. Euro could not get a close above the 50, coming back to key support. Euro's also sort of coming back after testing the rotation zone. If we start breaking back below 102.60 area, I'm watching for a pullback then. More towards this 50% zone. Other than there, it would need to do a rotation back above the 50 before I get in a bullish play back to 103.80. Swissy triggered this massive double top, both on a daily and a weekly basis. Gonna watch for a little pullback in there, but that is very interesting. That actually supports continued bullish prices. Again, could everything be wrong? Theoretically, yes, but also now closing below that 200 week. I'm still focused on 93.20 and then 92.07. Dollar index, we'll just look at the VIX tomorrow. Dollar index still tried a little up move on Friday, still in the weekly rotation zone, but can't get bullish on there until it retraces some of this. And it's really got to get above 106.50. Now, it did issue a very aggressive bullish buy on Friday, but the stop has to be below Thursday's low on a closing basis, 104.48. So that is the first sign of bullish, which is also why I'm looking for a pullback in the euro. Cycle's not yet on the bottom on the daily, but getting to, this could be interesting with daily and weekly cycles getting to bottoming area. Also, we do have a divergence, lower low and higher low with the RSI. So we could be putting in a early bottom here, but the more substantial is if you get the close above 106.50. Well, that's a contrary signal, Jim Cramer said, but it doesn't mean it has to crash tomorrow. Bitcoin. Bitcoin, by the way, this is a valid potential little mini double that has triggered on a 4-hour basis for a potential pullback. 23,873, 22,727. That's just a very minor topping pattern. I'm expecting for another substantial rollover. We still have not hit. Oh, did we hit? Yeah, we did. Did we? Yeah, we did hit that 25 finally earlier today. If it does push up, my next target's 25.6. But I'm starting to watch for a top-year play in here with daily and weekly cycles at the top. And then we'll be gauging this next breakdown play. Because overall, longer term, I'm bearish still on that. Options 22, what do you have to say? Here's a non-Q request. Looks interesting. TLT, 20-year ETF. Can you provide your 2 cents on this one? 100% retracement from the top. Time to buy leaps. Once above 120. TLT also, I mean, that's on a weekly basis. You can follow, it's a very sloppy with this shoulder, head and shoulders against the rotation zone. You want to start getting bullish for, based off this pullback. I'd be waiting for the rotation up, but you want the super bullish breakout play would be above about 120 on a daily closing basis. And you look at these targets. Now it's already triggered a head and shoulders. So if you want to try to do something on a pullback, as long as you don't get the close below the 62.5, you're welcome to. But if you want the safer play, it's above 120, which is virtually the 25% retracement. Then I just use this to manage the position. 125.75. And the first major target area will be back to 131 to 131.62. That's just with your retracements. Weekly cycles at the top. This is why I'd be a little patient, still reacting to the other side of the rotation zone. But once you get a close above this weekly rotation zone and this test of the highs at the end of May that was tested again at the beginning of August, that is a pretty bullish reversal signal. And you can actually use this as the bigger, and I know it's technically upward sloping, but when it's this close, I've been doing a lot of research and using a flat neckline. If we use that flat neckline research I've been doing over the last while, if we use the flat neckline, look at that. First target coming in pretty much that 37.5% harmonic. Next target coming in the 50-week. Final target coming in that 50% retracement area I already talked about. There you go. I'd wait for that close above 120, though, if you want to play it safe before getting stuff longer term. Does that help you out, Options 22? Give me some feedback on that. There were 200K, 900 Tesla calls traded on Friday. I mean, we're getting the juice, and Tesla's one of the gamma stocks, one of the most options used gamma stocks out there. Sorry, very thirsty. So I mean, we have that the daily double still in play, but if that double reverses and you start getting a lot of momentum, and the market stays in juice mode, that would you know, you could see a key, at least a run to the 950 area, because that would definitely stop out that double. The only concern with this also is cycles pinned at the top. I mean, we've had a ton of juice with this, and we've had a lot of juice going into Elon selling and the other selling that was going on to keep it up. So if the selling, I know Elon's selling's gone, but if that other selling's over, then you could see another pop to the upside. And Tesla does pop before the split. So we'll take a look at Tesla tomorrow morning. That's where I sit right now. So in a nutshell, cautious to the upside, even with the long-term patterns triggering, just because of where we are with the cycles, where we are with overbought. But as long as these don't flip, then gotta watch for buy entries on pullbacks. At least in the short term. So that sums it up. Not seeing anything else. So again, I'll ask you one more time. If you're watching this on demand, also please do leave some comments. Let's keep gunning. Let's keep the subscriber growth going. Let's really, I mean, we're getting new subscribers. Let's just keep this getting out there and help more and more people, especially who won't be shocked when we do get the next downturn. With that, I hope everyone has a fantastic rest of their Sunday. I will be back tomorrow, 8 a.m. Central, for the market preview live stream. And I'll talk to everyone then. Bye for now.